Hello, everyone. I don't think we can state enough how excited we are for this episode. This one.
I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, honestly. 2 years ago, when I randomly called Steven in the middle of like a weekend over Christmas break,
It's bad
saying,
again.
I have this idea. Dang it. Okay, I'll adjust it as we go. We started with this episode, so hopefully it's not a complete train wreck. It could be. Testing. Is this any better? Is this any different?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, well, if it's crackly to you, your gaming headphones might not be as nice as you thought. Okay. Okay. Subtle is not the end of the world. All right. Okay, a couple just announcements right at the beginning. Number one, we're super excited. Thanks for coming. I know it's been a lot to manage all the schedules and everything. Glad everybody's healthy. Welcome back, by the way, person I will not name. A couple things I just want to mention again. Like we said last episode, the goal of this entire campaign is to tell the best story possible. And that means that your character might not always get what they want, but eventually they will get what they need. And hopefully that will make sense over time. Does anybody have any immediate questions that we can reasonably answer before we actually get started?
That's not a question.
I'm scared is not a question. Okay. There is a cinematic. You have to earn it, though. It will happen at the very end of the game today. Yeah, well, it'll make sense. All right. To get started then, the next series of scenes are happening simultaneously. If your character is not named, assume that you are currently indisposed. Every single one of all of your understandings of this world is going to fluctuate very heavily over the next hour to hour and a half. And while we definitely want to see and hear your reactions, we're just going to ask that you try to hold your questions or input unless your character is directly involved in the situation at the time. You're supposed to not know what's going on. Lastly, if you can hear the sound of my voice, set your HP to 1. You all experienced quite a bit of a explosion a moment ago. No. Okay. With that, then, welcome to the full.
What's up?
Dozen people.
Oh my word.
Yes! I knew it. Liar.
Yowza.
Okay. First up, your fear.
Oh my god.
I can't hear anyone from the other party.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Flipping that switch.
Oh my gosh, why do I gotta go first? I just pooped my
You
pants.
got this. You got this.
I just pooped my pants.
I'm pooping mine with you.
Alright. My pants are soiled.
Caleb,
absolutely
just checking
soiled.
you saw the message I sent.
Yep, I saw that.
Cool.
Could you add that note to the things in the future?
Yes.
Oh my god. It's so good seeing all of you.
Your fear
Oh my gosh.
you're going to kick us off.
Oh, no.
Heads or tails?
Tails.
No. Oh my
God.
All right. Your fear. The world slowly swims back into focus, your ears still ringing from the impact. The first sensation you're aware of is the scratchy feeling of smoke tickling the back of your throat. You break into a coughing fit, trying to expel the particles. The ground beneath you is uneven, strewn with debris, and warm to the touch. Everything feels heavier, as if you've been weighed down. The air is thick with smoke and the scent of burning. Every sound is muffled by the heavy atmosphere, save for the soft crackle of nearby flames. The visibility is limited to barely a dozen feet due to the thick smoke. As you begin to regain your senses, pushing yourself up from the ground, your eyes catch a familiar form not too far from you. Sai lies half buried under a pile of rubble. Her form is still, and from this distance, you can't tell if she's still breathing.
I yell out sigh and try my hardest to make my way to her.
Yeah. You immediately jump up and run over in her direction, and set to work. She seems unresponsive at the moment, but you start pulling away chunks of stone and wood and metal and other debris that is pinning her down. Your tunnel vision starts to expand as you work to unbury her. Looking down, you can see Sai's bag has been torn apart. Its contents have been strewn about haphazardly. Books with charred edges, tattered note pages flittering in the smoke-tainted wind, and scattered rat food form a chaotic scene around you.
No!
You spot a familiar piece of cloth, torn and dirty, unmistakably ripped from Sai's pants. You can even see one of her shoes lying a short distance away beneath the rubble. As you look back at Sai, your racing mind finally catches up with your scattered vision. Your heart drops into your gut when you realize that the distant shoe was not empty. Her foot and part of her leg is still inside it. Your breath grows thin, and the world seems to be closing in around you. You look back at Sai, usually pale, now ghostly white in the dirt. You notice your fingers feel wet beneath your gloves. As you raise them to your eyes, you realize that they're covered in blood, and it's not your own. Suddenly, amidst the swirling chaos of emotions, you hear a faint, shaky cough and a brief gasp. Sai's eyelids flutter open, her eyes glazed with pain and confusion. Sai, you have a couple minutes left.
Your fear?
Sigh, it's okay. You're gonna be fine.
I'm not worried about that. Are you okay?
Oh, is there like anything? I can tell she's just gonna go, from all accounts. I would like to just like tear off anything and try to like make a tourniquet for her leg or anything in this moment. I'm like frantically searching.
Yeah, you can
Didn't
grab
Didn't we have a potion, a healing potion still on us somewhere?
Sure. Yeah, I believe you do, yeah.
I want to grab the healing potion, and I guess with my knowledge of healing potions, if I were to give it to her, is there any way that this would prevent the impending doom?
Give me we'll call it a medicine check.
17.
This is not the first time you've been around spilled blood, your fear. That's certainly true. And while a potion of healing certainly can go a long way to seal up some wounds, it does not replace blood, and she's lost quite a bit.
I feel like I'd probably be in shock right now. Like I may not feel the pain. So
No, yeah.
yeah. So
And the rubble is pulled away from her, right?
Yeah, for the
No.
most part.
I want to. Your fear, without hesitation, embraces her and holds her close to his chest in a way that he has never held anyone in his entire life. And just begins to shed a tear. And every time he tries to speak, he can barely utter anything, but he looks into her eyes and says, daughter, you are going to do something even more fantastical than you ever know in the next life.
I don't understand. We were all just enjoying the evening, just looking up at the sky. Next thing, I see a flash. I don't know what's happening. All I know is that I'm on the ground. I'm cold, and I'm kind of gasping for air. Can you tell me what's happening?
Your fear looks at Sai and says, don't worry about that now, child. Do you remember the lights that you saw a few moments ago?
They're still up there.
Do you see them?
I barely. I can barely see them.
Stare deep into the lights. And
It's getting colder. I can feel it. I think I know what this is.
no matter where you will go, I will find you. I will find you.
I've never been held by anyone before in my entire life. Can you just hold me and not let go?
My dear, I will never let go of you. And I would like to kiss Sai on the forehead. And your fear begins to weep. And a pain that he has not felt for 35 years has just erupted inside of his soul. And the same pain and loss that he felt so long again, and failure that he felt back then, is now engulfing him again. And whatever light Sai brought to his life is now dimming and fading in front of him, and he has no way to get it back. And with every fading breath she takes, an overwhelming anger wells up within him.
I'm holding on as
Sai. Sai. Not again. Not again. Not again. I did this to her. I did this to her. Not again.
Or fear. Time seems to stand still for a very long moment. Sai's lifeless form in your arms, the lingering smoke, the distant flames, all swirling together into a thick blanket of grief and guilt. In the distance, an ominous glow catches your light through the fog. The comet, the harbinger of this destruction, sits embedded in the earth. Its still burning form casts an eerie light, and the nearby fires create a haunting reflection upon its multifaceted surface. As you squint to make out the details, and my voice is glitching. Hopefully that helps. As you squint to make out the details, you can see that the comet isn't a singular entity. It's a bizarre, wild composite of stone and metals intertwined in an intricate geometric design. Every single detail, or a single detail, catches your attention more than any other, one only an Elysian would know to fear. A message comes into focus, inscribed across the entire side of this massive comet from the heavens. Dominari Novus Terrace. And with that, we will move on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, me in tears, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Ignatius, heads or tails?
Tails.
As your vision wavers into focus, Ignatius, the acrid scent of scorched metal and burning foliage assaults your senses. You're sprawled on your back, the sky above a swirl of purples and pinks, strange lights twinkling through the smoke. The crackle and pop of fire is close, too close. Heat encircles you, a ring of fire eating away at the grass leading into the forest, a barrier between you and the dark wall of trees. Panic grips you as memories explode like shrapnel in your mind. A similar heat, a similar terror. The faulty explosives in your hands, the one that was meant to save but nearly doomed you and the one person you couldn't bear to lose. Your sister's screams had melded with the roar of the blast, and in the aftermath, you were left with a mechanical right arm, a permanent reminder of the cost of miscalculation. But you're not that person anymore. You've grown, learned, and survived. The heat of the fire before you is a challenge, not a death sentence. A surge of determination propels you to your feet. You have a moment to act and escape the fire. What do you do?
Can I see anyone else around me?
Only fire.
I would like to can I cast pyrokinesis? It's not supposed to, like, this isn't the exact kind of
Sure.
mechanics that it's supposed to have.
Yeah, I like
normally it's supposed to be like for making fire, but can I try to use it to manipulate the fire around me,
Yeah, I would say it's not powerful enough to put the fires out, but it is powerful enough to create you a path through them.
can I I want to try to maintain that, and it's an at-will power, so I'm just going to constantly be using that and wandering my way through the blaze, trying to find Iffy.
Absolutely. The flames licking at your heels, you walk hurriedly through the fire. Your breath comes in ragged gasps, but you steady yourself, the urgency of the present moment clawing you back from the brink of the past. There, just beyond the smoldering remnants of what was your ship, is Iphigenia. Her condition hammers the breath from your lungs, a grotesque mirror of that fateful day. She is motionless, save for the shallow rise and fall of her chest. Her skin an angry tapestry of burns, the fabric of her clothes melded into her wounds. Her moans are soft, pained, the sound tearing at your very soul. You know if there was an organics medical facility nearby, she would be all right. Here, though, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna try to pick her up and fireman carry her out. Yeah, just try to get her out of the blaze.
Yeah, go ahead and make a athletics check for me.
Three.
Okay. You struggle to lift her. It seems, though, that the immediate danger has receded between just the fire progressing and your control flames. This small area around her is clear. You don't know how long that will last, but you have at least a moment.
Am I conscious?
You are, barely. It's more that you are in so much pain that it's difficult to form coherent thoughts.
Iggy, Iggy, are you okay? What,
I don't know.
what happened?
The ship went down, and I don't know. Everything's on fire, and I had to find you.
Iggy, I'm scared. I'm really scared.
We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. This isn't the first time we've been blown up, and I'm sure it won't be the last.
Iggy, I need you to promise me something.
Anything.
if I don't make it out of here, don't go back to Hyperion. Don't let them turn the smartest, most amazing guy I know into a weapon of mass destruction. Please. Please use that big brain of yours for something else. Promise me.
I promise.
Okay.
We're gonna get out,
then we're
though.
gonna get out of here. Then we're gonna get out of here together.
We're
because
gonna
I
get
have
out.
to see it. I have to see it.
Is there, does Iffy have like a pack that I can dig through because I don't have anything medical related on me. Can I try to dig through whatever she has and find if there's, bandages or any kind of like
Sure.
med spray, whatever.
You start digging through her pack. As you do, she stiffens and begins to convulse slightly and fades.
Oh my gosh.
As you cradle Iphigenia, her life flickers out like a snuffed flame. Her final breath, a whispered name, yours. In the eerie quiet that follows, her hand goes limp in yours, the searing pain of loss piercing through the haze of smoke. As the oppressive heat retreats, a surreal calm settles over you, Ignatius. Amidst the charred remnants of what was once your ship, a soft blue luminescence draws your gaze. It's Omnite, unmistakable in its crystalline brilliance, the size of a clenched fist. The chunk before you is a fortune unto itself, over 100-fold the payout of the job that brought you to this unfamiliar world. With mechanical precision, your arm extends and your fingers close around the crystalline bounty. Its touch should elicit triumph or greed, yet it feels alien in your grasp. The Omnite's glow does little to warm the chill of loss that has wrapped itself around your heart. As the thick smoke clears further, more of these blue gems reveal themselves, a dazzling trail left in the wake of calamity. But the sight doesn't quicken your pulse with excitement. Instead, it deepens the void left by Iphigenia's absence. Each gleaming stone, a mocking symbol of what cannot be bought. Time, peace, a sister's life. At the end of this illuminated path lies a crystal larger than the rest, a piece so enormous it could buy you an entire nexus. But the grandeur of the crystal fades before the stark reality of your loss. What value does such wealth hold when weighed against the silence that now accompanies you? In your hand, the Omnite feels heavier than its size suggests, a physical manifestation of the pointlessness of riches in the face of irrevocable loss. With the vastness of potential wealth laid before you, you understand the hollowness it brings, the emptiness it cannot fill. The question hangs in the air, almost palpable. What good is a king's ransom when the kingdom of your spirit lies in ruin?
Right.
Bruh.
Down. They're whittling us down.
Which one of you wants to call it?
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god.
Okay, just call it.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Tails.
You guys gotta stop picking tails. It's cursed. It's cursed. Go the other way.
That's it. That's it.
That's true. True story.
All right.
Gosh.
Ember. As your vision begins to focus, the first thing you see is a reflection. Blurry and distorted, but unmistakably yours. The metallic surface of the comet acts as a crude mirror, showing you marred by mud, dirt, and splatters of blood. The weight of what's transpired seems to press down on you, making every movement feel laborious. The distant rumble, the oppressive heat, and the disorienting dizziness clouds your senses. As you push yourself up into a seated position, the now loosened ground beneath you shifts slightly, and you inadvertently back up. Just making sure you're still there. We lost your camera. Oh.
Uh-oh.
She didn't want to play anymore.
There.
Are you back?
Oh.
Can you hear us, Ember?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I'll back up a bit.
That's happened a couple times.
Okay. As you push yourself up into a seated position, the now loosened ground beneath you shifts slightly, and you inadvertently back up. Suddenly, you feel something familiar. On your back, the fur of Aegis's legs standing behind you. Without even turning around, the comforting sense of his presence fills you. But something is off. His legs give slightly as you lean against them. You realize that his feet aren't touching the ground. Trepidation gnaws at the edges of your mind as you force yourself to turn and face him. The sight that meets your eyes is one of unspeakable horror. The comet, sharp and menacing at its front, has pierced through Aegis's once proud metal shield, his arm, his chest, and out the other end. His eyes, filled with pain and shock, meet yours, the light in them dimming, but it has not yet gone out. Clutched firmly onto his shoulder with wings half spread is Hyoba, who seems to be frantically looking back and forth at Aegis and out towards the horizon, as if he's desperately looking for help for his master. He's dipped back out.
You're effing Ember up right now. She can't. This is not
God.
kind. Oh my gosh. This is the
Coin
saddest tale
decides.
ever told. And it's only been about 12 hours long.
We can hear you. Yes. Clutched firmly onto his shoulder with wings half spread is Hyoba, who seems to be frantically looking back and forth at Aegis and out towards the horizon, as if he's desperately looking for help for his master. What would you like to do?
Am I conscious?
You are, however, I think we might have lost Ember
Yeah.
again. Getting 14 people on a call has its downsides. It's okay. There won't be 14 people for long.
You shut your mouth.
Brutal.
Oh,
Shut
Jesus.
your mouth.
Too soon.
Terrible. Remove him from the campaign. Get him out of here. I did not sign up for this emotional torture.
Okay, we've got
Amber,
visuals back.
see ya. You seem like you're back.
I think so.
All right.
Okay.
Nothing's happened since you left. What would you like to do?
Sorry, is Aegis conscious?
He is.
Okay.
Not for long.
Stop.
My goodness. I grab his hand and I have tears in my eyes. And I say, Aegis, I can't do this without you.
I think I'll just weakly smile. Just, hey, it's okay. Just look in my eyes. Don't worry about anything else. It's okay. You're strong.
Who's gonna protect me if you're not here?
Listen, you have Hyoba. I'll take care of you. You have to stick together now. Listen, Ember, I don't think I can heal myself out of this one. There's something I was going to tell you tonight. When we were alone, I don't know how much more time I have left, though. The creature we faced when it became a dragon, the night our village was destroyed and I went in, I found the bodies of our people, and I also found the bodies of dragons. Young ones, old ones. I kept it to myself because I didn't want it to burden you, but I think it's time to pass on this secret. You're strong. You can do this.
I can't, Aegis. I can't do this without you.
Listen, look at my eyes. You are Smoking Ember. Druid, Dycaxian, trusted sister of Hyoba, and the last and the strongest of Clan Gentle Thicket. Don't you ever forget that. I said it before, and I'll say it again. The world is big, but your heart, it's bigger than it all. Don't lose that.
I won't, Aegis. I won't.
An all too familiar grief threatens to drown you altogether. Every fiber of your being resonating with loss and pain, and this time, unfortunately, you'll be processing it alone. In your disoriented state, the air around you starts to clear as gusts of wind push away the lingering smoke. Through tear-blurred eyes, a figure starts to take shape, just a few feet from the comet. At first, it's but a silhouette against the backdrop of destruction, but as your vision focuses, details start to sharpen. The figure is humanoid, standing with an imposing presence, his eyes fixed on the horizon. White robes, almost ethereal in appearance, billow around him, caught in the wind. A clean-shaved head, giving him an otherworldly aura. Clutched in his hand, emanating a bright glow, is a large chunk of omnite. Recognition stirs deep within you. The tales passed down through generations, stories of a celestial visitor sent by the gods aboard a comet. The prophecy spoke of his return, a herald of change, be it for salvation or destruction. Could the legends be true? Could this actually truly be the return of the prophet Dycax? And we will move on.
Naka, Ro, which of you would like to call it?
Just go ahead.
The cold embrace of unconsciousness releases you grudgingly, Ro. Your eyelids flutter open, heavy as if weighed down by the gravity of this alien planet. The world spins, a disorienting blend of sky and ground, until the chaos settles into a grim scene of destruction. Your limbs are leaden, your thoughts sluggish, as if you're swimming through the dense atmosphere of Ethereum. Your eyes scour the wreckage, a desperate search that ends upon a mound of debris. There, half buried, is the unmistakable form of Naka, the captain's chair, his throne amidst the stars, now a cradle amidst the carnage. Action surges within you, a tide of adrenaline that banishes fatigue. You dig, hands scraping against concrete and steel until you can haul Naka from his premature grave. The captain's chair has once again been his salvation, the straps holding him fast against the storm of destruction. But he's marred by the violence of your descent, his skin lacerated by the glass of the window that he must have been launched through. Naka's eyelids twitch, his consciousness reeling back from the edge. What would you like to do?
I'd like to hold him. Captain, are you alright?
Oh.
Captain, I'm here. You're gonna be okay.
Where are we?
I don't know. Did something happen and the ship just... I think there was an explosion. Can I do any medicine check on him?
You can. However, as you are holding him, go ahead and make the medicine check.
Yeah, I have a +2 for medicine. I'm sorry, +3. 14.
Okay.
Is that...
As far as you can tell, there's actually no serious damage aside from surface
Okay.
cuts. Naka, as Ro holds you, you stiffen, a sharp pain of discomfort against your belly. You look down to see a long shard of metal piercing Ro's stomach. In the grip of panic and fear for your friend, Ro, your own pain went unnoticed. You sag into Naka's arms, the two of you stumbling to the ground.
I mean, I love the ship, but not this way.
Ro.
Yeah, Captain.
How do you feel?
Well, until he didn't say anything, I felt fine.
I need you. How are we going to fix this ship without you?
I don't know if the ship can be fixed. Not like this. Not this way. We had so much more to do. We had so many places to explore.
How big is this shard that's inside of Ro?
It is about as wide as, well, not your hand, but a normal person's hand. Though narrow in the other direction.
Ro, let me try to pull this out.
Okay. Let's do that.
And Naka reaches down to the metal. And with all the strength that he has left, he pulls towards himself out.
You... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Okay. You pull the shard out. Ro stiffens and convulses, and you feel his life slip away. As the life ebbs from Ro, a profound stillness settles over you. With hands that have steered ships through the blackness of space, you gently lay your friend down, his final birth under alien skies. You look upwards, your gaze drawn by an instinct as old as navigation itself. Above, the night sky unfurls like a cosmic tapestry, thousands of lights dancing in a celestial ballet. The shapeless wisps shine with a blue light, gleaming brightly against the soft blue glow of the starless sky. They swirl around an opening in the cloud cover, a wound left by the Lunar Adlishar's violent entry. This aerial display is of a nature you've never witnessed, a marvel that defies the charts and data that have long been your guides. In this moment, the spectacle becomes a balm for your grief, a reminder of the universe's infinite mysteries. With Rose passing heavy on your heart, you are reminded that for all the knowledge humanity has acquired, for all the dark reaches you have explored, the cosmos still holds secrets, still offers moments of unexplained majesty. The lights pirouette in the heavens, their motions slowing, a silent tribute to the ship and crew you've lost. Then, as if each one acknowledges the passing of a fellow traveler, they begin to extinguish, one by one. The grandeur of the display is not lost on you, a man who has traversed the void between worlds. This spectacle, this mysterious farewell, is a wonder that transcends your understanding, a beauty born of chaos. You sit in awe, a solitary figure amidst the wreckage, as the phenomenon graces you with its fleeting splendor. What could craft such a vision? What arcane forces of this unknown world conspire to paint the sky with such a brush? The questions linger unanswered as the last light winks out. It seems to pull the brief peace you felt with it, leaving you alone next to the body of your dead friend.
Can I rip off my necklace and lay it on top of Ro, and I will whisper in his ear, "You truly are a master."
And with
Love
that,
you,
we
buddy.
move on.
All right. Let's call it.
Call it lucky.
He's not lucky.
Tails.
He's gonna die again.
Again. Lucky. Your senses jolt awake with startling intensity. It feels like suddenly breaking the surface to gasp for air after being submerged for too long underwater. As the dizziness starts to subside, you take stock of your surroundings. Being told my audio's bad. Better? Testing 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. You take stock of your surroundings. You immediately realize the sheer distance you've been thrown. 40, perhaps even 50 feet away from where you stood just moments before. The comet sits in the near distance, casting a sinister glow and sharp dancing shadows throughout the edge of the forest. Its heat and impact have caused the surrounding trees to ignite, their smoke reaching up like ghostly tendrils, shrouding the area and blending the canopy. You push through the pain, scanning the immediate vicinity for signs of your companions. A familiar figure catches your eye, Alora, battered and broken, lying in an uncomfortable angle about a dozen feet away from you. Before you can process whether or not she's still breathing, a sharp, alarming crack interrupts your thoughts. Whipping your head to the side, a looming pine tree groans under the weight of its own structure, its base slowly being devoured by the flames. It takes you about half a second to realize the danger, the trajectory, the angle. Everything points to the tree's immediate fall, directly onto Alora. What would you like to do?
I immediately charge over and I pick her up and I run as fast as I possibly can.
Laura. The first thing you see is Lucky's face. A mix of desperation, pain, and fear. Blood mingles with tears as they carve their way down his face. Eyes locked onto yours with an intensity that you've never seen. Before you can utter a word or even understand your surroundings, he's reaching for you, using every ounce of his strength to run and hurl you away. As you're thrust through the air, the weight of the situation crystallizes before you as you understand Lucky's desperate act. A gargantuan pine tree, weakened by the flames, tears down towards where you once lied. Time seems to freeze, the world seemingly moving in agonizing slow motion, allowing every detail, every sound, every sight to be etched into your memory. The tree's shadow engulfs him. His body does not slow the pine for a moment, and his knees seem to buckle before it even connects. You hear it, the sickening crunch of wood meeting flesh, the heart-wrenching gasp of air forced from Lucky's lungs. The tree continues crackling as the branches settle onto the forest floor. Lucky lies broken among them, barely able to move, using the last of his strength to lift his head just enough to ensure you hadn't met the same fate. What would you like to do?
Can I move? Am I free to move, or
Yes.
am I hurt at all? Okay, I just want to go over to Lucky and bend down, kneel next to him, and tell him that was supposed to be me. That was supposed to be me, Lucky.
As I as I hear those words, again, if you're lucky, says, no, I need you to move on. I need you to be the one to keep going forward. You need to take this. You need to take your father's spell. You have to take this. As I hand it to her, it's tattered and all messed up. And I also say, I'm not scared anymore. I'm not afraid anymore. I at least get to go to the afterlife. I can get across the Omnight Sea and be with the gods forever and ever.
I will make sure you get there. I promise. And I want to take out my earrings and put them in his hand.
and say, for your next adventure, Lucky.
The solemn silence that follows Lucky's final breath is more profound than the sharp noise of calamity that preceded it. You lie amongst the burning leaves and branches, a torrent of grief and guilt washing over you. The world around you seems like it's collapsing inwards, echoing the emptiness growing inside you. You struggle to find your breath, the air now thick with loss and the sharp tang of sap and smoke. As you lift your gaze, something catches your eye. A large, thin metal plate, its shape curving gently upwards like a bowl, lying amidst the forest debris. Its composition is unlike anything you've ever seen on Amnesia, alien and smooth, with an otherworldly sheen that suggests a celestial origin. Within its concavity is a small pool of liquid that captures the fading light, glowing an intense, ethereal blue. You watch, almost in a trance, as the liquid transforms in a miraculous dance, the glow intensifying. It spirals and sparkles as if alive until it solidifies into a crystalline form, creating a single solid piece of crystal omnite. This can't be, of course. Your heart races with the implications. Liquid omnite, as far as you know, does not exist in Amnesia. The only tales of such a substance come from lore of lands beyond the great Amnesian Sea, the afterlife. Could something have come back through? Who would have sent it? And why? We'll move on. Oh.
Cerberus and Vidar.
You assholes, my hand is shaking. Vidar said I should call it, which, all right, so I'll call it. Heads.
Vidar. Consciousness creeps back to you as though it were a reluctant tide. The ground beneath you is unforgiving, your cheek pressed against the cool metal of the main cabin's floor. The air is thick with the tang of ionized circuitry and the bitter scent of leaking fuel. Darkness is punctuated by the sporadic flicker of fire through the holes in the hull, casting stark shadows that dance around the cabin's splintered interior. Above you, the groan of stressed metal settling into its final resting place. You roll over, and the sound of crunching glass pierces the near silence, a harsh reminder of the frailty of life. The vials of your medication, your lifeline, now spill their precious contents through the grates below, lost. Panic is a fleeting ghost across your thoughts, quickly exorcised by the memory of Cerberus. He has a backup supply. You'll be all right. With that shard of hope, you push yourself up, knees wobbling, eyes scanning the wreckage for your android companion. Cerberus. Your awakening is a blitz of alerts and warnings. Your internal diagnostics scream with errors, a cacophony of red that blares in the forefront of your vision. Pulmonary systems failing, severe trauma detected in left ulna. The messages flicker and scroll, relentless in their report of your dire state. Movement is an impossibility, your systems refusing the commands of your central processing. As the critical alerts begin to subside, giving way to your visual sensors, you find Vidar before you. His face is a mask of horror and disbelief, a mirror to the grave reality your diagnostics have just painted. Vidar, the sight before you grips your chest like a vice. Cerberus, the ever-reliable, sturdy companion, is pinned, a twisted wreckage from the chest down. The engine room door has become his prison, the engine his executioner. A morbid realization dawns on you, cutting through the shock. The backup supply of your medication was with Cerberus. It is no longer. What would you like to do?
I would immediately go to Cerberus and try to cast Repair Droid.
You cast Repair Droid. Cerberus, you can feel bits of your wiring and structure straining to snap back into position, but the damage is too severe and the engine is still pinning you.
Yep. Sorry, Clint. I was going to say,
go ahead.
Do I notice that all the medicine's broken? Do I pick that up, or?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, you would see the dark stain on Vidar's clothes, and you know that the medication on you would have been crushed as well.
I think I'll just kind of... Vidar, I'm so sorry. I was supposed to protect you. I can feel it. Shutting down, I failed.
No, this wasn't your fault. In fact, this has been the best couple weeks of my life since meeting you. But I can fix this, and as he's talking, can I try to get his Umbra Core out from wherever it's kept in an android?
Yes. It is kept in the upper chest, just above where he is crushed. You actually make a technology check for me.
26.
26.
Newsflash, Aaron still has managed to break the game.
You find the release switch to open the chest panel, and it just plops open. It seems that the damage was did not include the mechanism of the door. You open it up and see his Umbra Core glowing a soft blue, the tiny piece of Omnite visible at its center. You see as you... Sorry, what would you like to do with it?
I don't want to pull it out yet, but Cerberus, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I will bring you back. It might not be the same body, but we'll be together again.
It's okay. If it doesn't work out. This is how I was always meant to go out. I was built to be a soldier. This is going to be my end, but I am just grateful that this was a friend with true free will, even for just a little amount of time. That's more than I could have ever hoped for. You can do it. Not just with me, but with anything. I know you can. Rely on yourself. You're stronger than you realize. You don't need me.
Not knowing how to respond, because I'm just filled with grief, I would like to pull out the Umbra Core.
And Cerberus's eyes go dim, and he relaxes against the engine. As you pull it out, you see some minor superficial damage. It seems the housing was deformed slightly. You don't think it's physical damage, however. Or rather, critical damage. In the hush that follows Cerberus's final shutdown, the quiet is an oppressive weight. You stand amidst the wreckage, the finality of your companion's demise settling in. Or perhaps not finality. An unexpected glimmer of light flickers across your vision. A notification from your node. It shouldn't be active, not here in the Omnesian zone where technology is stifled, but where signals go to die. Yet, here it is, a pulse from the ship's computer, a ghost in the machine stirring against the silence. The prompt is simple, a vestige of order in the chaos. Significant damage detected. Would you like to run diagnostics?
Yes.
You trigger the affirmative, and for a moment, there's a semblance of normalcy, a countdown beginning. Estimated time of arrival for diagnostics, 2 minutes. For a heartbeat, you allow yourself the luxury of a bit of relief. 2 minutes is manageable, a brief pause in the eye of the storm. But then the numbers climb. 2 minutes become 5, 10, and then the time sprawls out before you, a climbing estimate that settles with a heavy, daunting finality over 2 hours. As you stand there, the glow of your node, the only light in this oppressive dark, the ship's attempt to pull itself together seems almost pitiful. The diagnostics it offers are a feeble promise, but they are all you have. It's a grim race now, a test of endurance. Can the ship's systems outlast the dangers of the Omnesian zone and this strange, unknown planet?
Suddenly, all of you turn towards the comet as a blast of ethereal gray gas pours out of every gap. The fire suppression... Oh, sorry.
The fire suppression system, somehow still intact, begins to drown out the surrounding flames.
You see unfamiliar figures before you, passengers of this celestial comet, dressed in clothes covered in metals, geometric patterns, and sharp lines.
The intricate woven details of the clothing of this planet's inhabitants is masterfully done, even with their seemingly primitive technology.
An elf, a gnome, and a massive Githyanki.
A tabaxi, an elf, and a human.
Though everything about them is alien, each of you recognize that their eyes betray the same feeling each of you feel in each of your hearts.
Fear.
What would you like to do?
So these figures are like standing in front of us, correct?
Yeah. Many of them standing over bodies just like you.
Okay. So we can see their silhouettes standing over bodies. Looking around from side to side, do I see anyone close to me that I recognize from our troop?
Yes, eventually you would see Ember.
Okay.
And you would see Allura, but further away.
I would like to kiss Sai's forehead one last time and gently set her down. And I take a coin from my pocket and place it in her hand. and I start walking towards Ember. Ember. Ember, is that you?
Yes.
Are you okay? Can you move and walk?
I think so.
Where's
Aegis,
do I see Aegis at this point?
It would not take you long to find him, yeah.
And I'm just like laying on the ground, like holding his legs, just crying.
In this moment, there's just the feeling urge that I have to compartmentalize everything, and that this is the moment that I have to be the stable one. And I grab Ember and I say, "Come now, come, child." And I embrace her in a comforting, just like strong hug, and start pulling her away from Aegis. And I just say, your brother would not want you to dwell on this. Come now. Alora is there. Let's go to Alora. And I call out to Alora as I stumble with Ember, making my way over. Alora.
Alora is kind of acting like a madwoman right now and like digging at the ground, like trying to make a grave for Lucky. And I don't even hear you.
Oh, okay. I slowly kind of walk up in front of Alora and just, Alora, can you hear me? It's your fear.
It was supposed to be me. It was supposed to be me. And I'm still just digging and digging and digging.
And for that moment, I let Ember go and come up behind Alora and just kind of like strongly stop her arms and embrace her and look in her eyes and just kind of hold her in front of me and say, it was supposed to be all of us that stood here now. None of this was supposed to happen. The better of all of us was taken. Come with me now.
Okay, I'll stand up.
As all of that's happening, what are the other three of you doing?
I am aimlessly digging through all of my piece parts and kit and whatever, trying to, take my tinker toys and come up with any kind of solution to fix Iffy. And of course I have nothing that could do that. But it's just I have to fix it.
I stand up out of the captain's chair and I pick up Rose's body and I place it where I once laid, in the chair, and begin to make my way through the rubble towards these other figures that I see.
I would try to gather as much of the, I know it's all spilled out, but any drops I can remaining of the medicine, try to get. Even if it's a day's worth, anything I can do.
You're muted, Stephen.
Thank you. Make a, we'll call it investigation check.
45.
12.
2?
12, okay. You pull out a flask and try to scrape some of the medication into it. You do get some, but it's mixed with the grime of the floor grates. It's not very pure.
Then I would like to go towards Naka. Just stand by him and follow him.
Naka, eventually you make your way towards the edge of the forest and see 3 strangers knelt down relatively close to a man that seems to be dead under the trunk of a tree.
And Ignatius, I would say that the fires with the fire suppression system would have died down enough that you can see the 5 of them gathering. But you are free to do what you wish.
I'm staying where I am.
Naka looks in disbelief at not only what's behind him, but what's in front of him. Seeing the limbs and the bodies of fallen beings, and is lost for words.
The 3 of you would see probably the largest Githyanki you've ever seen approaching, dressed in leather and metal, followed by a younger, comparatively comically short gnome in a ripped and dirty t-shirt and a backpack on his back with a mechanical arm.
They're like wearing clothes that are completely foreign to us, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They're like nothing you've ever seen.
What are the looks on, I guess, the Githyanki's face right now? The people that are approaching me, what are their faces looking like? Your emotional states?
Utter disbelief, shock, bewilderment, yeah.
For the gnome, probably terrified, and then a bit of just curiousness. This shouldn't be possible, so just taking it all in.
They're all pretty beat up, correct? From my assumption. Yeah,
You
yeah.
are all still at the most 1 hit point.
I use the bulk of my energy that I have to quickly stand up in like a protective manner with the other 2 behind me, and I reach for the sword on my back, but I am in so much pain I can barely unsheath it. And I just look at them and say, "Who are you? And why are you here?"
Naka stands and places his arms out in front of him and says, "We mean you no harm, but we don't know why we're here." Where is here?
You are on Amnesia, in the land of Decaxia. What do you mean you don't know where here is?
I turn and look at Vidar. give a confused look.
Would I be able to detach put two and two together about diecats?
It certainly sounds familiar.
Detaxia.
Yes.
You know diecats? Or of diecats?
I know of the legend of Dicax. I certainly do not know a Dicax.
Ember, the figure that you saw standing in the smoke is, you realize, still a little ways away near the ship, currently kneeling on the ground.
Can I hear their conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're all together.
Okay. I think I would perk up when I hear the word Dicax and look at Vidar and say, Are you not from? Are you with Dicax?
Diecats is long dead.
What do you mean Dicax is dead?
1 second. I'm trying to figure out pulling up timeline. Diecats was like 11,000 years ago.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, I think we might have lost you.
No, she still seems there to me.
I'm here. Yeah, here. I think she's looking something up.
Can I yell for Iggy right now?
Sure.
Okay, so Naka turns. Because this is asinine.
We'll catch back with this.
right now. And I yell, Iggy!
I am straight up non-responsive, like going into a rage, like have never been so angry in my entire life. Just beating the ground and like unresponsive fury.
Ember, if you don't have anything, do you have something to add? If not, I'll jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
You were looking something up. Whose object is in the crater over there? And why does it say Dominare Novus Terra?
That's my ship.
Your ship's name is... Are you Elysian?
That was my mechanic's and dearest friend's favorite phrase. One he lived by.
Where is this friend, and why does he know this?
He's no longer with us. He lays in the captain's chair behind me.
What do you mean by a ship?
We fly amongst the stars.
What do you...
Your fear, you don't really have a concept of what stars means.
It's worth noting for our celestials, when you look up at the night sky, there are no stars.
Huh.
It's just glowing a soft blue.
Stars? What do you mean stars?
Naka looks up and realizes. And again,
how can
it's
a ship?
confused.
How can a ship fly?
What else would it do? Float? I don't know.
Yeah, it would only float.
And
I look at the other two behind me, like, did I miss something?
I've only heard of the legends of old, of the floating ships.
Where's Finch at this time, Steven and Caleb?
He'd be probably with you.
Okay. I look at Finch, and I whistle to him to see if he has any recollection of floating ships and what stars are.
To clarify, you mean flying ships?
Yeah, flying ships. Sorry.
Okay.
Does he give me anything? He gives me nothing.
He has no idea what they're talking about.
This is Finch, by the way.
Yes. So the for the three celestials, you see a floating, brightly glowing chunk of omnite that could fit into your hand, seemingly carved with strange runes and symbols, just floating next to your fear's head.
This time, I run back to Iggy. I grab his shoulders, and I lift him to his feet, and I'm gonna smack him in the face to try to snap him out of it.
At 1 HP, he's dead.
Okay. Just to clarify,
not
how
real
hard
hard.
are you hitting?
Oh
him?
gosh,
Non-lethal.
non-lethal.
Yes.
Just,
And the squad is now dead.
just snap out of it. Iggy, we need you. Focus. We all are hurt. We understand the pain. But we need you to see this.
I think after he smacks me, I would just have like a completely shocked look on my face and just kind of like and follow wherever he takes me.
Run back over to the rest of the group, and the floating chunk of
Floating
seems to be there.
The two. as he
Iggy,
was-
would you have held on to the chunk of omnite that you found?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And just to clarify, you, before you went on the whole adventure that you did that ended you up here, you had seen in that captain's office the most amount of omnite you've ever seen, which was at most 3 or 4 tiny little specks at the bottom of a glass vial. And you're holding a fist of it in your hand.
Oh, I'm aware.
And there's another chunk of it floating over that dude's shoulder.
Would I also see the you mentioned like a liquid swirl of omnite?
That's long solidified at this point.
But is it? Would I
is
see
nearby.
the solid
You would
form of
see-
it?
Yes, you would see a solid sheet of omnite, completely flat, inside like a metal bowl, essentially, a chunk of the ship.
Okay. I'm going. First of all, I'm going to make sure that my prototype is very separated. Because my first thought is if I put my device anywhere near any of this, we're all going to be gone very quickly.
You can safely pack that away.
Yeah. Would I hear your fears chunk talking?
No. You do hear soft whistles coming from it when your fear looks at it, but you don't hear any words or communication other than that.
Okay. I guess I would go over to your fear and over to his chunk, and be just like getting close to it, but not like touching it, trying to inspect it and see what the hell this could possibly be. How is it doing what it's doing? Because obviously I've never seen Omnite, number one, in this quantity, but also just behave anything like this.
Yeah, go ahead and make a technology check.
I feel like as he's doing that, literally whatever head motions he's doing, Finch is following him.
Definitely.
And like getting closer to him. And if he's moving away, it just tries to get closer and closer and just is following every movement like a mirror.
14.
14. You see the strange symbols on it. They aren't of a language that you recognize. You don't see anything particularly notable other than those, but you can't decipher what on earth they mean, or rather what on Amnesia they mean.
Can I pull take the large chunk that I picked up and see if it has any comparable markings on it, or is this just an inert piece of Omnite?
This seems to be, well, I wouldn't say inert. It is still glowing, but it is. I'll give you with the 14. The glowing chunk over his shoulder, the floating chunk rather, is clearly cut like a gemstone. The one you hold in your hand seems to be raw from the ground.
Can I take my piece and hold it up next to your fears and see if there's any kind of interaction between the two?
Did the terrestrials? I'm curious what you guys are doing when you see him doing this thing.
I think at some point while all of this is happening, I'm still talking to Vidar about Dykax, because my brain is melting right now.
A small correction, it was 4,500 years, not 11,000 years, but...
Hang on.
Just a small correction.
He was killed 4,500 years ago?
He was dead 4,500 years ago. Or you got killed.
How could he be killed? Because he was in the ancestral realm after he left Dykax. Are you from the ancestral realm?
No. I've never heard of the ancestral realm before.
Question for the DMs. I'm forgetting, what you guys can message me too if it gives anything away. What year is it for terrestrials here? I cannot remember the actual.
It's 1046, right?
1046.
1046.
You guys might want to check out your articles and the history section and just check out the dates there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The current date is listed in the general article for both of you.
Yes.
What's the current date for Celestials?
12 something.
12:30:07.
12.
Okay, so hang on.
12,307.
Okay, so.
What?
All right.
Does the gravity feel different here?
No.
No. Okay.
No, it's pretty standard. I mean, everything fluctuates planet to planet, but it would be relatively standard.
I'm gonna. Go ahead, Ember.
No,
Yep.
okay. I would ask Vidar, are the 4 gods still alive?
Can you name them?
Yes. Clypus, Argentum, Doctrina, Aquitus.
What the fuck?
Yes.
They're still alive.
They're not gods. They're computers.
Oh,
It's a computer.
This is some Warhammer stuff.
Can we sleep and then maybe we'll talk about it when we wake back up. Maybe that will clear up some stuff.
As Iggy is like holding the Omnite next to Finch, I just look at him and say that's not gonna do anything.
Well, how do you know?
It's just a chunk of Omnite.
So actually, I would say as Iggy holds it up, you would actually both see the chunk get ever so slightly dimmer and Finch get ever so slightly brighter.
Oh,
Right.
What do I know? I'm an old man. Stupid technology. I hate this stuff. Someone said the word sleep, correct?
Maybe that would be best.
Maybe that would be best. Laura, Ember. Should we rest?
I don't think I can sleep right now.
Same.
Okay, since that, I would like to pull out the healing potion and divide it in halvesies between Alora and Ember.
Okay. Celestials, you see a vial of red liquid, probably relatively opaque. You've never seen any of it before. Your fear.
It's brighter red than blood, say.
Right.
Ember, Alora, drink.
Yeah, hands it back and forth, and you see, somewhat miraculously, small like wounds and cuts like literally start closing up as they're drinking these potions.
Naka looks down at all of the shard body that he has and all the scrapes and scratches and looks back up. In, again, confusion and utter disbelief. And I ask, what was that?
A potion. You don't know what a potion is? You have flying ships, yet you don't know what a potion is?
I look at Iggy and Vidar and Shrug.
If you were not supposed to land here, where were you heading?
That's a good question.
It's a complicated answer.
Are you not the captain of the ship that crashed?
I am. We were sent on a mission with promise of payment of, and I point to the hovering Omnite over his shoulder.
You can take this one if you want.
Finch whistles sharply and moves behind Yorfir's head.
Shut up, you little shit. Payment and Omnite. I don't understand.
This chunk could buy our whole system and beyond.
Your system? What is the system? A house?
I assume you know that we are on a planet of some form.
Yes.
Amnesia, yes.
Okay. Imagine this, but like lots of these, and whole bustling civilizations inhabiting all of them and around them, and technological outposts just littering the place, and infrastructure and industry and everything, just as much as you could imagine, until you can't see anymore. And now I'm realizing, looking up at the sky, that there's no stars.
There's nothing.
This world was carved by the hand of Eternus. Before the water and hills you saw behind you, this was just a sea of Omnite. So if Omnite is your reward, you've come to the right place. This whole world is aligned with Omnite.
And Iggy, you can look at it's still relatively foggy from the smoke that hasn't fully dissipated, and even within the 150 meter range, there's a few dozen rocks larger than the one in your hand, sort of uncovered by the rocket as it scraped along the ground. It is a common element here.
Have you ever heard of Eternus? And I'm looking at Naka, because he spoke a certain set of words earlier that ring in the ears of every Elysian.
Naka looks back where Ro seats in the captain's chair. And he says, "The That's something you would have to talk to my friend about. And leaves it at that.
Well, I'm not sure the way you came in is the way you're gonna get out of here.
What did you say the name of this planet was?
Amnesia.
Cut the logo. They said the name.
Can I ask what is the name of this planet you're from?
We're from the system.
What's the name of this system?
The Omnesian,
The Omnesian
system.
Cut to logo. They said the other name.
The Amnesian system.
Omnesian system. Just tapping into the end of amnesia.
Who rules over this system?
No one person in particular. I mean, there are so many different civilizations within the system. Like this, there are so many. None of us are even from the same planet.
I mean, there's 3 primary factions, but there's no one ruler of them all.
Who are these, What, Vidar, what are you?
I'm a gnome.
A gnome? I look at Vidar and say these,
One other note, he is a gnome, however, you see poking out of, like, his sleeves and his collar, metal, and actually, like, one of his upper arms seems to be entirely made of metal.
And you notice one of my eyes as well is not a real eye.
I'm
It
also
would be glowing
noticing
softly.
Iggy also had a metal arm, correct?
Yeah. And
this is something I would.
guess
This is something even artificers
never
of our
would've
time.
seen.
This is beyond.
This is not a piece of armor. This is a replacement. You'd probably also recognize that Iggy, not from this explosion, but a previous one, seems to have some pretty heavy scarring on one side of his face, and even a good chunk of his usually pointy elven ear is missing.
I'm gonna go up to Vidar and not touch, but can I like kind of point at the metal coming off of him and just say, and what is this here? Is this armor? It is unlike anything I've ever seen.
No, not armor at all. I'm slowly taking apart my body piece by piece and replacing it with metal and machines.
Why would you do that?
Your fear can't even comprehend what you're actually saying right now. He actually doesn't. It just went so far over his head. And I just say, what is a machine?
I'd like to take out my eye that I'm currently in progress of making, and
This is the most horrifying thing you've ever seen.
and hold it in my hand.
I think, what would your fear do? God, I don't know. I think he might jump back. And, yeah. Squeal, I guess. or yell demon. I'm not sure. Demon. Yeah, your fear is at a horrifying loss of words.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you, and I'll pop it back in.
Again, now he's actually sick to his stomach and retches behind himself. The weight of everything, he's tried to keep it dormant, but the gruesome image of an eyeball going back into his head caused him to lose it.
I want to walk up to him and like just study him for a minute and ask, so you want to be more this, and like poke him on the metal arm, and then that and poke him in the face.
Good.
I flinch and startled a bit. Yeah, that's the goal. Eventually, I would like my whole body to be like that way.
And is this for everyone in your system or just you?
Just me.
But why?
I hate the way I look, so I'm trying to replace myself.
Oh, that's quite sad. And you, I'm going to turn to Iggy. Why is your arm metal?
Not by choice. I blew my arm off and needed a replacement to be able to work.
See.
Who sent you on this mission? And what mission is it?
Man, if you didn't understand what a machine is, it's going to be a lot more complicated.
I guess I would probably follow that up with, our mission was to protect the people of this land, and if you're here to harm them, then our two missions collide.
We were never meant to go on a planet. There was some floating omnite in space, and we were just meant to retrieve. Or collect a bomb that would help retrieve it. We didn't...
You just said a lot of words that mean nothing to me. What is space?
Like the Omnite Sea? And I like point up to the sky. The space between here and paradise where the gods dwell?
And then I say, if that's where the gods dwell, then you can call us gods.
Go to logo.
And with that, I try to kill them all. Did you actually say you're gods?
I don't think Naka meant that. It was in reference.
What did you say?
What did you say?
I said.
Be very specific with these choices of words.
I said, if that's where the gods dwell, then you can call us gods.
Your fear grips his sword and removes it from its sheath. And I would like to step back, pushing Allura and Ember behind me further and kind of like treading backwards, like with my sword. Obviously, I can barely hold it up. I'm like just weak, but I am acting like pure protective mode.
How close are we?
Probably, at this point, probably like 7 to 10 feet away.
Then
As this is happening, though,
okay.
as you're all sort of talking at the very edge of the forest here, you all see a piercing golden light that blasts through the fog, surrounding the comet, slashing like a gargantuan blade through the smoke, seemingly supernaturally cleaving it in two. You'll all look over to its source and see a massive man dressed in metal armor with black and purple tabard hanging from his chest. His flowing gray hair and beard seem to retreat from his eyes, burning bright in golden fury. Colonel Adrian of the Wardens of Elysium steps forward into the clearing, a massive greatsword drawn in front of him, followed by a battalion of several dozen soldiers. Some are dressed in similar colors, others in green and blue, others in red and gold, all with weapons drawn, bows, blades, maces, staves, some seeming to hold light and fire itself. Colonel Adrian yells out with his sword drawn towards all of you. Identify yourself, Outlanders.
Specifically to the three of us or all six?
Yeah. The three of you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I'm like, yeah. Troop 33, Pearson butts. For Aegis, we're gonna pierce some butts now.
I mean, I guess I would. How do I play this?
I would speak up quickly, terrified. Vidar from Xeon DB5. Don't know what I'm doing here.
I guess I'll follow just Vidar's lead.
Part of the DGN Collective. I don't know what more you want from me. I don't know.
I'm Ignatius Predatio of the Nexus.
We come in peace.
Yes. It's actually a slang term on our world. You didn't know that.
Yeah. This is the middle finger, basically.
Yeah, you just gave that guy the middle finger. You're F.
Naka, do you say anything?
I tell him I'm Captain Naka.
Colonel Adrian takes a few steps closer now, sort of breaking away from the rest. That as the fog sort of continues to dissipate, you see just more and more and more that have collected around this crash site. He yells out again, Wardens, report!
Without looking back, I'm staring the other three, like looking them down, and I yell back out, Troop 33 here. We've suffered many casualties, but I don't think these things mean us harm.
Outlanders, how many are with you?
6. 3.
How many Wardens?
3, sir.
Colonel Adrian steps forward and, starting to step over rubble, sheathes his greatsword on his back. The battalion behind him keeps their weapons trained on the three Celestials. He walks towards the ship, quickly surveying the scene. Colonel Adrian stands tall and imposing, every inch of the seasoned paladin and military leader. His armor gleams, reflecting the dim light of the remaining embers. It's hard to tell exactly what he's looking for, but before you have the time to speculate, he turns his attention back towards the Outlanders. You, our celestial visitors, have chosen an ill-fated ground to descend. Your recklessness has taken the lives of 3 of Amnesia's guardians, They're not just soldiers. They were wardens, and they were my wardens. He pauses momentarily, stepping over the rubble before stepping in front of Sai's half-buried corpse. He bends down, taking her hand in his for a brief moment before placing it on her chest. Rising back up, he draws his massive greatsword off his back, stretching it out towards the three of you in a single arm. Your actions, whether deliberate or accidental, have grievous consequences. As wardens, our task is eternal, as is our lives. Wardens never die. If one falls, another will take their place. And now, by your own hands or merely the winds of fate, you've thrust yourselves into this unending covenant. You three shall take their place as wardens, defending the very soil you've desecrated. Either you accept this duty and rise as protectors, or defy it, and I swear to you, I will see to it that you meet the same fate as my god.
I look at my companions, waiting for them to do something.
I'm confused by that last phrase. I ask him what god he serves.
None that still live.
I glance to Iggy. I glance to Vidar. And I say, as I take a step forward, then I am at your service. But we have 3 fallen comrades as well. And who should fight in their place?
Your men were not my wardens.
We didn't come here by our own account.
How you killed them is none of my concern. There's a debt to pay. Will you pay it, or will I take it?
Now, when you say take,
just in case it needs to be said, remember your level.
With 1 HP.
With 1 HP.
I'm not picking a fight. I'm asking for clarification. I'm a scientist.
I don't think that word would mean anything.
I think, still holding his sword out in your direction when you ask the question, when you mean take it. He would sort of still making direct eye contact with you and just move the sword and point it down at his side towards the corpse of Iffy lying on the ground. You will join my men or yours.
Made a promise. I guess I join yours.
I will pay my debt.
No.
That's it.
Me as well.
Takes his sword and sheathes it back onto his back. You've each made one honorable decision today. I expect, as wardens, for you to make more of them. Troop 33. Your compatriots died as heroes today. There is no greater death. I ask you to honor their legacies by showing your new brothers what it means to be a warden, so they might become worthy of the same deaths that they've caused. And he turns around, facing the battalion in front of him, and sort of lowers his hands, and calls out, "At ease, wardens. Someone get our recruits a medic." As that happens, you hear sort of on the opposite end of the fog, "That will not be necessary, Colonel Adrian." A shaky voice rings out from the opposite side of the clearing. An old halfling woman, Hagen, covered in dirt and bandages, leans into her cane as she carefully limps towards the party. "I think I can take it from here." Colonel Adrian looks back at her, his eyes meeting hers with recognition. He nods silently and then begins to walk most of the battalion back towards the camp, a few of them staying behind to inspect the wreckage and keep an eye on Amnesia's newest visitors. Hagen slowly makes her way over towards the group, and specifically towards Ember. The tip of her cane sinking into the broken ground with each step. As she approaches, you can see that for the first time, the steel resolve of Decaxia's infamously hardened physician has broken. Tears well up in her eyes as she avoids meeting yours. She briefly looks towards Aegis, still hanging from the rubble, and looks down again, a few tears falling and mixing with the blood of the earth. She comes close to you, Ember. "I will prepare him to be buried with your family along the fields of sunflowers south of Mistwood."
I think I would just instinctively just hug her and start crying and say, "We'll see him again. They said that Dycax is dead, and I don't believe them. He will come back, and we will see Aegis again."
She does not respond to that. She looks sort of over your shoulder as she's hugging you, or to some extent letting you hug her. Her eyes fixed on the pierced shield still held out in front of him. She sort of somewhat quietly whispers into your ear, "Sister Ember, if you do for others what Aegis did for you, his legacy will not end with his life. There are others that will need protection, like you. Others that need your heart. You are not just the last of the gentle thicket. You're a warden." She sort of backs up from you, patting you on the back slightly as she does, and starts looking over at the rest of the party. As this happens, you sort of see motion from over at the ship and see Hyoba taking off from Aegis's shoulder. He flies into the air and lands firmly on your shoulder. His talons are definitely uncomfortably sharp without Aegis's dedicated leather shoulder pad, and he seems heavier than you'd expect. But it's a burden that you're going to need to be strong enough to carry. She sort of turns around briefly and calls back to you. I will contact you when he's ready. We will have a ceremony. Hagen slowly walks towards Alora, glancing briefly over at Lucky still under the tree. She turns towards a handful of the wardens standing by and angrily points her cane over at the body, still stuck under the tree. They realize the situation and start running over, quickly working to put out any remaining fires and pull Lucky out from underneath the pine. Talking to Alora, I have a sturdy canoe at my homestead. It should be more than sufficient for his journey.
Oh, sister,
Can I have your permission to have him prepared? I can contact you when he is ready.
Please, yes. Thank you so much.
Of course. I'm sorry for your loss. She then walks over to Yorfir, noticing Sai off in the rubble behind you. An Elysian, then. A cremation. I can have that arranged.
That won't be necessary.
Son, wardens do not have the time to bury their own, but I can ensure you are made present for the ceremony.
I reach in my pocket and hand her a map to my own cabin in the pines. All I ask is she goes there.
That can be arranged.
Thank you.
She then turns from Yorfir and looks at the rest of you, taking stock over the remaining dead. She looks so intently over their features and yours, very obviously, visibly confused. Please forgive me. I'm having trouble placing you. Casket, canoe, or cremation? Which shall it be?
Suppose a cremation would be fitting.
Cremation as well.
Casket.
I was going to say that probably burns some chemicals. It's
Yeah, probably can't burn a droid. I don't know.
Tie it down. Put it in the water.
Just a lithium battery just starts exploding. Anyway, I see. I will have them prepared and will contact all of you when they're ready. And I suppose welcome to Amnesia. I recommend not flattening anybody else while you're here. Hagen walks back towards the remaining wardens and starts instructing them on preparing the dead to be transported.
The world around you is still reeling. The aftermath of the crash, like the silence after a great bell tolls. Each of you, survivors of the Lunar Adlashar, are bound by shared calamity, tethered together by the thinning thread of survival. The air between you is thick with the unsaid, with loss and mourning for those who now lay still in the alien embrace of an unknown world. Vidar, there's a chime in the quiet sanctuary of your mind, a clear, sharp note from your node signaling the end of the ship's long diagnostics. The report is grim. The engine is beyond repair, its heart silent after the catastrophic failure. Ro, your mechanic, the only one who could have coaxed life back into it, is gone. The hull is breached, a testament to the violence of your descent. The navigation systems, those guiding stars, are dark, leaving you blind on this starless planet. Of the ship that was your chariot among the stars, only the most basic systems breathe any breath of functionality. The close-range comms, a single external floodlight, and, absurdly, the vacuum toilet, an ironic survivor useless in the rich atmosphere of this planet. The comms crackle through your node, an unexpected sign of life on this technologically dead planet. A signal pulses from the east, only a few miles away, and, be it by fate or by chance, a few hundred feet under an abandoned Elysian fort. You stand together, each of you a sentinel in the wake of tragedy, each of you grieving, and each of you a warden, whether you know what that means or not. The dead were more than crew and troop. They were friends, they were family. Now, in the wake of their absence, you must find a way to move forward, to soldier on in their honor. For the newcomers, the gravity of conscription into an unknown army on an alien world presses upon you, a heavy mantle to bear. You look at the faces around you, each marked by the ordeal, each a universe unto themselves. The abilities that manifest among you are as alien to you as the soil beneath your feet, just as the arms you bear are unfamiliar to your new companions. Uncertainty is your only certainty, the future a fog obscured by immediate necessity. But for now, the path ahead is clear. You must bury your friends.
The schisms deepen. The Empire's decay is ripe.
One God, one path.
This kingdom still clings to the old gods, blind to the celestial order. We will be the harbingers. Our unity under Our Lady's shadow will be their end.
And her gifts, our salvation.
Yes. And with these new arms from the heavens, nothing can end our crusade.
We can't hear you, Caleb.
Okay. Yeah.
Hello. You should be able to hear me now.
Hi.
Yes.
And we made it to the end of episode 1 proper.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody breathe in and out.
Oh my goodness.
Excuse me.
Oh my god.
Big thanks to our friend Keegan for the voice acting.
I knew
I
it
was
was
wondering.
I knew it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, wait a second, I knew that voice.
I also want to give as big of a thank as we possibly can to 6 players who a couple months ago we contacted with the mission of building a character, intertwining it as deeply as they could with their partner, knowing full well that in the second episode of the campaign, they would be killed off. Emotionally destroyed. Round of applause. Kept it a secret.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, you guys knew you were gonna get murdered? Oh, F you.
I'm so sorry, Aaron.
Oh my god. F you guys. You played with my heart, Link.
Oh, my neck was back there.
Okay.
Oh man.
The heads and tails thing was just complete and utter crap.
Yeah.
There was no
Man, how did they get this figured out so fast?
By pure chance, every single one of my flips ended up the way we wanted it to.
Nice.
Wow.
That's should have been rolling dice in this run.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
chosen.
It was pretty
My
great.
gosh.
Here we go.
Incredible
Yeah.
job, everyone.
Jeepers creepers.
Amazing RP, everyone.
This was a tearjerker. Like
I cried
I cried
every time.
Yeah.
I'm so mad right now.
Yeah.
I was
I'm
over here
so
with my
mad.
tissue the whole time. Like,
Yeah, I feel that.
You killed Lucky. You killed it.
He almost
Billy,
made it too.
Your dying monologue was, I cried. I cried. You got me. You got me.
It is sort of amazing, and I'm sure you guys will start piecing it together in hindsight, how many of our actual players wrote their own disaster sort of for us, and the connections, like, you know, what if I have this like super important medicine that I have to take, and I have this super important robot friend that helps me take it every day? That's a crazy idea.
Oh yes! And then you get a message.
Yeah, it's like, okay. My brother and the only friend I have of a clan that's been completely wiped out, and he protects me from everything in the world. Okay, sure, whatever you want to do. That sounds great to us.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steph.
Wow.
Yeah.
Especially to our new players, you guys did great. You guys did so good.
Who's like, this is their first campaign? I know on our okay.
Yeah, we have 3 fresh players,
Yeah.
one of which sadly is not continuing with us.
I mean, that's kind of par for the course for Lucky, honestly.
Lucky
You made it this far. That
Lucky
was
almost didn't make it out of the first episode 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
It's true.
That's rough.
He got killed by rats, by a shadow demon.
By falling in a pit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, falling in the
as-
pit.
Jeez, guys.
I'm sure that you all have a billion questions, most of which we cannot answer in this format. You're probably noticing a lot of threads tying between 2 very different worlds. They might not be as different as you think. Obviously, we can't answer any of those questions for the time being. Hopefully you'll start to understand throughout this campaign. It's also worth noting that there will be many, many secrets that none of you will find out during this campaign, and might take 5, 6, 10 more campaigns down the road to fully sort of unveil what's going on here. That's sort of been the mission from the start. That's been the goal. So I'm sure you have a billion questions, which seem impossible right now, and that's fine. Get used to it, because you're going to have questions for a long time.
I don't have any questions at all. I just want to make a statement, and that's that you guys are madmen.
Yeah.
I do have
Can
a
we,
question.
can we have
Will
a
we-
brief moment of appreciation for the DMs and just the amount
Yeah.
of work that went into this?
Let's go, guys. Come on.
Great job, guys. Amazing.
Caleb, you told me, I think it was 4 years ago in the middle of our campaign, you said, my goal was to make you cry real tears during campaign. I said, that'll never happen. And it happened 3 times tonight. Like, what the hell?
Yep.
Will we ever get to
Matt, you
see
said you had a question.
the badass video for, I'm sure, the other team? Will we ever get to see that now that half of them
Oh,
are
yeah.
dead?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
We'll make all that available. A couple things are going to happen. We're going to make that available. This was the first episode that was properly streamed. Technically, we're still streaming. I'm sure my dad's watching and maybe a couple other people. Our intention is to continue streaming in the future. So for our players that have passed on to whatever afterlife that is that they believe in, or not believe in, you can absolutely continue to watch us there. As well as for the players that will continue existing. We've already talked to a number of our fake players about potentially playing as NPCs in the future. So you might see them again popping in from here and there. Who knows, maybe even being revived as an android if you can find another android body lying around. Also, another thing that's going to happen is the website that you guys are all accessing information from. So we're going to unlock all of the pages. I would generally recommend for our players to just not go surfing. You can, and if you feel like you're able to like continue to play without metagaming or anything like that, I will leave that up to you. But the hope is to make that available not only to anybody else who's not playing anymore, but also hopefully will be many people that will be watching along and then would like to read more about the world and understand what the heck is a DGN collective after all. So that'll be up to you guys.
For those that are watching, that website, which is not quite ready but will be, is amnesia.world. That's amnesia as in the name of the channel, .world.
Yes. There's also a Discord, which one half of the party is in already. The other half of the party, including the dead folk, you're welcome to join as well, will be made available. And there'll be a space for us to connect as players and DMs, and also for people who just like to watch and enjoy to hopefully talk live and converse as it's sort of going on. Yes, I think that's all the stuff that's happening this week.
I feel like you should make clear that for the new players, usually episode 1 start with people in a tavern saying hi to one another.
Yes, so very uncomfortably.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's goblins nearby. Let's go. Yeah, it's not quite this intense usually.
Wait, did they level up?
Yeah, use their XP
Yes.
here.
Everybody levels up.
Oh, you are now level 2.
Well, not
Let
everyone.
me go change that on my my character sheet. Hit points 0, level 2.
Failed death saves
People,
3.
we're all level 20 now? I don't know what you mean. We've done the hardest tribulation you
Yeah,
can go through.
that's
So,
exactly right. In
we've all
death, we
maxed out.
become level 20.
We have ascended.
It's worth noting there is an experiment that is going to be sort of tested out over the course of this campaign, because you both groups are playing with different game systems. One of you is playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, and the other one is playing Star Wars 5th edition. They use many of the same rules. It's very but we're not totally confident how the balance is going to work out. So just bear with us as we might make modifications here and there to adjust things. I also feel like, Stephen, and maybe we could talk about this later, but for our celestial folk, if you have a ton of spells or abilities that are permanent choices that you've selected on, and those spells are now entirely worthless in this new world that you found yourself in for the time being, we would be up to having a conversation about adapting those. I can also promise you that there will be far less worthless abilities than you probably think there would be in this space. So, without getting too far into spoilers.
Can I multi-class
anybody
into a space class?
You can do whatever you want with your character who does not exist anymore.
Effie's taking a level in Druid for sure.
Yes.
Aegis, you already have multi-class. You're part ship now. It's straight through your head.
Too soon. Read the room. Read the room. Get off the stage. Get off the stage.
Wow. Wow.
Does anybody have any questions that we reasonably can answer for the time being?
Yeah, first of all, how dare you?
Seriously.
I'm over here apologizing to Steph in a private DM. I'm so sorry, Steph. I didn't mean it, but I did.
Yeah.
I'm just mostly upset that there's 6 people that I really want to play D&D with that I was really excited to play D&D with that I'm no longer playing D&D with.
I'm sorry.
You got a couple hours, Grant.
I'm starting DMing one-shots now. If you want to tune in remotely, I'll make sure that you get to play D&D with me at some point. I promise.
Yeah.
We are also intending on opening up future campaigns to all of our sacrifices, so you will all hopefully have a chance to play together in the future.
Can I just say too? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the role play this session was so killer. Like,
So
shout
good.
out to literally all of you. Like, I did not expect to get my heart ripped out 6 times in a row.
I
Six
know,
times.
right?
Including by my own death, which I knew was coming.
As part of that, I'd like to thank Yorfir and Sai for setting the tone at the beginning. That was immaculate.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm so mad at you guys right now. That was like, and all the possibilities I have thought for 2 weeks on how this was gonna happen, that didn't even come across.
Good,
I'm like
yeah,
role
good.
playing in the shower, the things that could be going down. I messaged Zach last week. I was like,
I'm
hey,
so curious.
Oh, we know.
dude. Oh,
We know.
did you? Oh, that'd be great. Oh man,
I'm
no
so
fun.
curious. I just
You're
want to know how many
excited.
cups you guys filled tonight with tears.
I have no water
True,
left.
real tears. I saw a full waterfall coming down Nick's cheek.
Yeah, Nick was.
Listen, those were real. All right, like
Bro, mine
this
were too,
was-
man. Mine were too.
Zach, like
That was
you're
incredible.
oh my gosh, everyone's leading up to mine, just like holy crap, this is intense. Like the emotions were palpable, and like everyone did a great job playing their roles. So great job, everybody.
As DMs, as much as we're happy to kill all of you, the intensity of the emotions was because of the backstories you all built and together. Now, half of you was intentionally working to tie it as closely as they could so they could stab you with it.
Right.
But like, those were stories you guys wrote. We didn't have anything to do with it. So obviously, we're going to take those stories now and hopefully tell the rest of them. But you all did a fantastic job, taking all of the maybe slightly too much lore and building your
Only
lives
slightly.
inside it.
It was a lot of lore.
It was
Yeah.
a lot of lore.
I can also confidently say that today had the best roleplay of any game of D&D I've played, and in my admittedly biased opinion, any game of D&D I've seen.
Oh man,
I think
thank you.
we said at the beginning this was going to go one of two ways. It was either going to go really well and people are going to enjoy it, or it's going to go really poorly and we're not going to have any friends anymore. Either way, it will be probably one of the most memorable games of D&D anyone at the table has ever played, and hopefully that we've made the list at this point.
Yes.
We got both things. It went really, really well, and I'm not your friend anymore. So.
It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Checked all the boxes.
Yes.
Y'all better
There's,
take care of Ember, though. I swear. I swear.
I got you, God.
Your
Don't
ghost will be
worry.
haunting us. Yeah.
Don't worry.
I will
You guys
conspire.
are mean to Iggy if he's coming back from the grave with her little blasters. Pew pew, all of you.
My
I
2-foot
freaking hope
gnome
so.
friend is on his own now. Who's gonna look out for my 2-foot gnome buddy?
Yeah, you DMs really effed Yorfir up, just leaving him with 2, Young girls. Gosh, you are just wait. If you guys don't even know his backstory at all.
No. Miranda and Steph effed you up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
you
man,
guys really effed me up.
I didn't know. I didn't know, old man.
Troop 33 is not 3 people. It is still 6 people. It's not the same. 6
Well,
people.
they need to pierce
Right.
some butts before they become true.
Yeah, they need to see our flag.
Wait, we need to post the flag. Post the flag.
Wait, where can I post it?
I will send. Let me get an invite out to everybody.
Just throw that flag
Should I
right
post
up.
it in the lobby?
Everything will be clear when you see the flag.
Yes.
Troop. There was the crew, and
just
then
like-
there was Troop 33. And Troop 33 had a bit of an inside joke that I turned into a patch that I did get priced out. So if anyone wants
Oh.
Dude,
Troop 33 patch,
I'll buy 7 of them.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll get one.
Wait, is this
I'll take one.
I'm thinking
a sticker?
A patch.
a patch.
A full-on patch.
We can get like 20,000 of them from Alibaba. It'll cost us a penny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Will this campaign have a merch store?
Well, I mean, we have a guy who owns a company that
not
does
it.
stuff like right in chat. So
Guys, ignore whatever Caleb sends. What the one above where you guys are hopping
Zach,
in
did you
is
steal
the
that
true
from
one.
Community?
You better gosh dang believe I did.
Yes, we did.
Doesn't count.
Caleb has a
Plagiarism.
better one, but for now, enjoy this one.
nice.
Yeah, Caleb's is dope. It's my phone background. It's been my phone
Is it
background
really?
for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's
It has
amazing.
been, yes.
Very cool.
That's
I got rid of the
Yeah,
picture of my daughter to
delicious
replace it
graphic
with that.
design.
Same. All of my children are off my phone, but the Troop 33 butt piercing is.
Yeah. The inside joke was that every time how do you want to do this something, they stabbed it straight up the butt. So it
mean, that's
became
not-
their calling card.
That's pretty fun.
Of pierced butts.
It gets a
Now,
little poopy,
speaking-
but it's fine.
Speaking of phone backgrounds, this is Caleb's at the moment.
Love it.
Oh, dope.
Ooh.
Yeah, very.
That's
Cool.
sweet. Yeah, I need to show my wife that video. That outro was so
Yeah.
good.
Will
Yeah,
those
I will
be
send it to
posted?
you. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
throw it in the chat.
I got
The,
chills whenever we
Steven-
saw like the ghosts of those who had died at the
Yeah,
end of
that's
the party.
where I got
That was-
emotional again. I'm like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very Riven, very Sith. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Steven and I were so the original plan was we were going to let the thing play, and then he and I were going to sort of do the scene of the 2 people afterwards, like live.
Yeah.
And yesterday at like 8 o'clock, I was like, you know what would be really cool? So I didn't go to sleep last night.
Oh my
and
God.
I
Oh,
did the
no.
whole thing
Yeah.
yesterday.
Oh my
I
god.
burned up 2 hours of sleep that I slept like from 3 to 5.
Oh,
but
gosh.
it came out
PM
pretty cool. I'm pretty
today.
happy with
It was worth it.
PM,
It was worth it.
It was, yeah.
Was that? I got a message from Caleb this morning. Well, I woke up to it and was like, "Are you around? I have a question for you. I can't sleep." I wasn't around. I was sleeping.
Yeah, I'll drop
Very cool.
the,
Love that.
Nick, was I convincing earlier this afternoon
No.
when I saw you?
No, you weren't. Because no, you were pretty convincing, but yeah.
It's like, so what are you doing tonight? I was like, oh, I'm just like doing some editing for YouTube. She's like, are you sure?
Oh my gosh.
Brilliant job, DMs. Incredible. Very out of the box. Yes.
Thank you.
Your only
This-
problem now is it's got to continue.
Yes.
there are so many secrets left. Don't you worry. You're pretty.
The
little
only
ahead
problem
about
for us is we have to continue being emotionally invested in this.
Yeah.
that. Yes. Yep. Oh, I'm sure it will not be the last time that we try
Yeah.
and rip your hearts out during this
Yeah.
campaign.
Sheesh.
Yeah. And I'm sure nearly every long rest that this party has will be consumed to some extent with trying to piece together the threads of these 2 very different and seemingly connected worlds. Should be fun.
Whew. When is the next episode?
Every
That we
Next
can
Monday.
watch? Next Monday.
Yep. We intend to play every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
I will be there.
Wow.
These guys.
Make sure, I believe I posted the YouTube channel in both chats, so go subscribe to that, whatever. Tell your friends if you
This is all
want.
just a big play for you guys to get more subscribers.
And
it's working.
We'll go from like 4 to 8, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
See, right now you have 11. So.
Wait, where is it? Oh, here it is.
Oh, that's
There
pretty
you
good.
go.
We can't let the black bar people find out, okay?
Right.
That's 12.
Well, DMs, we got through the first 3 episodes. Is there anything that you've really been wanting to say now that the initial layer of the veil has been pulled back?
This has been such a pain to keep secret.
Because it's not just like, oh, obviously we were working really hard to make sure nobody knew who was in the game, right? And that's fine, hard enough, but whatever. But then if it does get leaked, like I think like Grant and Trevor found out that they were playing before the full reveal. If anyone were to even mention like a feature of the system you were in, the secret's gone just like that. You know what I mean? Like, but we could not explain what you couldn't talk about.
Yeah.
So we just had to say, don't talk about anything. So the amount of weird, awkward, like having a conversation with someone in Discord and then somebody else pops in and nobody's quite sure if they're also playing D&D. So everybody just shuts up.
Yeah.
But now it's done. There are no more hidden players. I think we can say that.
I was waiting.
That's
for
what you
like,
would say
like,
if
and you're
there
gonna be
was.
the next 6, next
Right.
6.
We're just gonna keep killing you off. I do think it was funny. Steven and I both got asked the question of like, how on earth do you plan on running combats with 12 people? Like that's gonna take forever. We've got ideas. Don't worry.
I made that joke today.
Yes.
Yeah, I think 3 separate people asked us.
Yeah.
Combat with 12 people. That it'll take 12 hours to get around.
I am curious of our actual like surviving players. Did anybody see wiping out half of each party coming? Anybody have a guess
No.
that might have
No.
happened?
Not even a little
I think
bit.
Trevor
No.
caught on after death number 2. Trevor caught on in chat. He said they are whittling us down back to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that, and I was
Yeah,
like,
we
"There's no
were.
way." You know how like when you like flip
Demons.
forward in a chapter because you're like, they have to bring him back. There's no way they're
Yeah.
dead, like for real.
Throw you in the mall
Like,
whenever.
like,
Oh wait,
there's no
never
way
mind.
you're dead for real,
I know what
right?
that is.
They're gonna bring
What's
you
the
back.
mall?
Trevor, you're like,
God.
oh, the mall.
What's
I
the
definitely
mall?
sent,
I don't know.
like,
Don't worry, you
a
guys will
private
find out.
message about this, but I did just want to give extra props to the DMs for that Naka row bait and switch.
Yeah, right?
Like,
Oh,
that was
very
so-
good.
Yeah.
That
We didn't-
actually,
we didn't
that
write
one was
that.
not us. That was all Nick.
He came up with the idea.
Oh, Nick.
That's awesome.
Effective. It was amazing.
It definitely, I think, if I didn't know if I was dying or not, I would have been like, okay, I have no clue what the dice roll or the coin flip means anymore at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
I hope for a few moments there, John, that you thought you were going down.
Oh, absolutely. I was like, oh, great.
Yeah.
First campaign, I'm done.
Third
One-
episode in and partial TPK.
Jeez.
One more thing I'd like to say. We apologize for all the pain that we have caused
Drama.
today. We hope that you see why we thought it was worth it, and that you can forgive us.
I feel like there's more coming, so I'm not
There are
forgiving
more
you.
coming. This is a inciting moment for every one of your characters. All of you have a lot of growth to do in a lot of different ways, very different ways, and the security blankets had to be ripped off one way or the other. So
And if anyone has lasting out-of-game trauma, Aegis Services is now open for business. As I have nothing else to do on Mondays now. So.
Bro, you have a hole in your chest. You can't talk.
Just as a ghost.
I think you need to accept the passing of your friend.
Oh, wow.
All right, I'm going to stop the stream. So everybody say goodbye.
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 Jeff
Thanks
Weidman
for joining
says,
us.
"Great job, guys." Thanks, Jeff Weidman.
Thanks, Jeff. Papa Jeff. Love you, Papa Jeff.
Miss you, Jeff.
Good.